Religion does not teach you to feel, it teaches you to hide. This is part 8 of our series on the hidden effects of religious dogma and how it plays out in your life if you have not addressed the emotional piece and the identity portion of you stepping away from religion and embracing your sovereignty. I'm Tamara Tamu. This is the Unleashed Alchemy YouTube channel, where on this channel, we talk about embracing your identity so that you can live in absolute sovereignty, magic, enchantments, and freedom. All right. So let's hop into today's episode. Again, this is part 8. And one of the ways that you know that religious dogma is still operating in your life is if your mental health is not at optimal function, is if your mental health is suffering, all right? Because see, religion teaches you to smile through breakdown. Let's get into it. So what you'll do is instead of asking for support, you've been told that anxiety, depression, trauma, that it results from a lack of faith, or it is a consequence of your sin. Okay? And I'm bringing this to you again from my own experience. All right? So in religion, what you see is a lot of bypassing personal challenges. Okay? Many people who grow up in church, who grow up in religion, or I should say who don't grow up in religion, a lot of times people are drawn to the space of the church because they are experiencing hurt, pain, and trauma that they want to get rid of. And so they view the church as a place where they can experience hope, where they can experience acceptance, where they can feel safe. Okay? Now, these same people are then led to believe that if they just have enough faith, you just have enough faith in God, then all of your troubles are going to be taken away. You will have no more suffering, no more challenges, right? Let me tell you what I saw in the church. I saw so many people that had experienced heavy trauma, abuse of all kind, just the experience of life, losing people to death, life changes that we would call negative life changes like divorce or losing a business or getting fired from a job or not getting along with family. That can take a toll on you emotionally. Okay? So what I saw is many of these people experience a lot of things that happen in their life. So by the time they got to the church and embraced religion, I didn't know this at the time, but many people I saw, they were manic in their behavior. Some people were having bipolar episodes. These people, they didn't need more faith, right? They needed therapy. They needed to address how their own behavior put them in certain situations. So there needed to be accountability. Some people needed to go get a pill. Perhaps they needed medicine to regulate, to get them back their emotions in regulation. Once again, didn't mean they had to be on the pill forever, but you get what I'm saying. So how does this affect you in religion when you spent significant time in the church attached to a religion, when you are led to believe that you just need to have enough faith in God that your faith in God should be enough, you don't seek therapeutic support. Why? Because again, this God up in the sky somewhere is going to take care of all of that for you. So again, what I would see is people would come in just hurt. And so instead of getting healed, they would project their traumas and insecurities onto other people. Now, going back, how does this consciousness show up in your life when you leave religion? How does that programming of religion to make you believe, oh, just God is going to take care of it? And if you're still experiencing suffering in your mind, it's because you don't have enough faith, or it could be because you did something wrong. How does this consciousness play out in your life when you leave religion? How does that still have a negative impact on your life? Let's talk about it. What does this look like? Your brain is foggy. Yeah, your brain is foggy. And I'm not talking about so you know how, for example, if let's say you're working on a project, or, let's say you're writing a book, it takes a lot of energy. And after you're done writing the book, you almost feel tired. You need to give your brain a break. And so you take time in silence. That's not the brain fog that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the brain fog that is consistent, persistent. You're always feeling exhausted, not necessarily in your body, but mentally you are drained. And this is for an extended period of time. That overtime feeling of exhaustion and brain fog, that is not healthy. So instead of seeking support, you tell yourself, well, I'll just endure this. I'll endure the fog, as if enduring that type of strain on your mind is a requirement for living. You endure that as if suffering is a requirement and as if suffering is normal. Another way you know that this consciousness is playing out in your life, that religious dogma is still having an impact, is you don't ask for support because you view requesting support as weak. You tell yourself that this anxiety that you're feeling, that this hurt that you can't seem to get past, it will just work itself out. That is the same thing as saying, I'm just going to put it in the God out there. I'm going to put it in that God's hands somewhere out there. You are God. Side note. Okay. Here's another way that this shows up. You feel shame for the anxiety. You feel shame for the depression. You suppress it as self-blame. It becomes you telling yourself the reason why you have this anxiety, the reason why you feel this depression is because of something that you've done. You tell yourself, if I hadn't said this or that, if I wouldn't have done this or that, then I wouldn't be feeling this anxiety. I wouldn't be feeling this persistent fear all the time. I wouldn't feel this depression. It's something that I did. It's my fault. So again, instead of you asking for support, you blame yourself for how you feel. That is another way that you know that dogma is still operating in your life when you accept mental suffering as normal. When you don't allow yourself as a sovereign being to say, yes, I am sovereign. Perhaps I am too close to this situation. I'm going to seek support. And you have to know that when you operate from the identity of a sovereign being, you also believe and know, not just believe, but you know that you'll be guided to the right support, whether it's with one person or perhaps a small group, you will have the discernment to lead you to the right place. So, to go further with this, we've covered in this series, I've given you 8 ways to know. I could very easily give you some more, but I think I'm going to stop with 8. These are 8 ways to know if religious dogma is still operating in your life. And in each video, I've given you steps and ways that you can transcend that. And if you want to go deeper in this work, go to unleashedalchemy.com. There are several ways that you can work with me. I offer books, ebooks that you can also purchase, and they'll be sent directly to your email, where you'll also find support in those books to help you reclaim your sovereignty. Your sovereignty is not something that you have to look for. It is already in you. It is already very present. You have to rediscover it. And it takes going internally, regulating your nervous system, looking at how religious dogma has affected your identity, which is challenging. I'm just going to say it's not an easy thing. However, as a sovereign being, you are the solution to that. You can transcend it. And it doesn't have to take you a long time. So I want you to leave me a comment. Let me know what your takeaways have been from this series. Okay. Let me know how you have implemented some of the tips that I've given you in these videos. Let me know how you have integrated some of those in your life. All right. And until next time, I want you to be and stay sovereign.